Okay, I'm returning for the second part of the interactive project that I started roughly about a month ago. I wanted to give it a little bit of time just to sift through some of the comments and do it justice, really. I didn't want to rush straight into producing something after not really having given it time for people to see it, people to think about it, people to offer suggestions, and for me to go through it. Having done that, I found some that are really cool, really quite suggestive of things that I could do. Now, I've got in order here, and these are the comments for the video. These are in order of top comments, so the number of likes they've received, plus the number of replies perhaps. So things that stood out to me and things that I might wish to incorporate. Now bear in mind, as I get started on this picture, it may veer off in different directions, but these are certainly things that I'm going to try and incorporate and try and bear in mind as I'm producing it. So the top comment here, and perhaps one that I'm going to try and incorporate as much as possible, is the comment by Jane B, in which she very kindly offers the suggestions of using some kind of amphibian, fish, reptile forms or textures, along with sort of water and rocks. And perhaps at the top of the image, she says that she could see like a floaty tail and maybe a lizard face down where other people are seeing kind of rock formations perhaps. So there's some really cool ideas. It's a Keel has suggested to do a kind of golem creature forming in the rocks there, and there was another one that caught my eye in terms of just colour scheme from Maud's Arts, who suggested like an uprooted tree or a mangrove with deep green and blues and muddied water underneath. So there's lots of suggestions and I can't thank everyone enough, but they are some of the ones that for the meantime stuck out for me. It's not going to be a complete painting by the end of this video, but I'm hoping that it will have enough elements and perhaps be complete in some areas, but open enough for more suggestions on what I should do with this painting to move it forward. So it's not the end of the process this. I plan to do lots more videos, lots more stages, and I'm hoping that people will continue to say what they see, what they wish they would see in it next, and keep on developing it just like the first video. Let's keep it moving forward. I'm just creating another layer here, ideally to go underneath the layer I've just created some of the tone. It's going to be a suggestion of some kind of bottom of the, maybe the bottom of a riverbed, bottom of a swamp, so I'm not really sure yet. Giving it a bit more warmth, slightly kind of muddy feel as suggested. Okay, I've got a vague sense now of the form, the lighting. It's not completely finished, but I'm getting a bit more of a sense of it. So I'm going to start working into some of the detail, some of the kind of scale texture at this point, and then I shall start adding some sort of like fish, tail fins, details like that, and see how that goes. So with the scale effect, I'm focused on obviously the dome and then two growing out of it, another dome, two growing out of it. The way that I keep the effect consistent is try to just visualize the straight line as it goes up. I know that there are areas that won't be 100%. There's this sort of middle ground here where the lines sort of mush together a little bit when they shouldn't do really, but I think with a little bit of shading here and there and things going in front of it, I can kind of disguise the slight inconsistencies. But it's the general effect that I'm after anyway, so. But it's definitely important to try and make it possible to follow a line. And if you've achieved that effect, then the effect is pretty convincing. So when I come to start a new area, a new branch, the consistency, I can do a line here. So I can visualize the line perhaps as it goes up. I know that then if this line is correct, I can build out from that point onwards to create the rest of the effect. So I know now that on each side I can then build out on either direction like that. And then not only the first line, but the lines on either side are going to be consistent as well. And that's generally how I would build a scale effect, is to decide the direction of the line that you want to begin with and then work from there. Okay, now I'm happy roughly with the scale effect. I've not quite completed up here, but I'm figuring that I might have it sort of transforming into something different at that point anyway. And to be honest, I'm getting a bit bored of drawing scales anyway. I think I'm going to start another layer on top of that. I'm not going to interfere with the drawing layer. I just want to start adding some detail, maybe some lighter areas. So there's going to be a light coming from the top. I want it to sort of impact some of the scales more than others, and others will be obviously in the shadow a little bit more. I'm going to try and make them look sort of reflective, so I will be exaggerating some of the light effects on them, so hopefully it will give a bit slightly more of a kind of wet look or a slightly metallic looking effect with the lighting. In fact, I might move that layer underneath and see how that works. So that way when I draw underneath it now, I can add shade and tone, and it's not going to interfere with the drawing. It's separate from the drawing of the scales, but the two will sort of work together. It's a bit too dark there. I might just change it for a slightly less potent dark colour. So because I'm making this up, I'm not copying from a photo. I have looked at photos just to guide myself really, so get a better sense of how scales actually work. But I'm not copying from a photograph. I have no images sat in front of me. I'm just trying to feel my way a little bit with it, and I'm going to build up very gradually so that, I don't make too many mistakes. Well, mistakes is the wrong word, so I don't go down, completely down the wrong path and obliterate the effects that I've already got. I'm just trying to do it gradually, and as I become more certain that it's working, then I can start to darken it up or lighten up as required. I'm just adding some highlights to the scales, but only on the top section. They're supposed to obviously go underneath each other, so on the top sort of arch of each scale I'm just adding a little bit of a highlight in areas. That's the only area that really needs a little bit of a highlight. Okay, I'm going to be thinking about sort of fish fins coming off it now. I want to do quite a floaty kind of fin, the kind of thing that you might see on like a Japanese fighting fish. But we'll see how it goes. just going to create a new layer. I want to go back onto this shape and start refining it, trying to make it seem now like it has the same kind of light sources hitting it. I'm going to do it as a new layer. Okay, I've added a mottled effect to the, well, I guess it's like the fishtail details to try and, it helps actually to get the sense of the form. You kind of use a feature like that to really exaggerate the kind of the curve of it. Really is a useful technique to get that kind of 3D-ness across. I'm not really very happy with the amount of light that's on top of this, the kind of rock structure. I think this is a bit too exaggerated, so I'm going to tone it down a little bit. I'm a bit happy with the light now because it really then forces the sense of light to be more exaggerated in the top. I imagine there's a light source up here somehow, so it looks more, well, obviously brighter in the objects and details that are closer to it. Okay, as I said earlier, I'm not going to take this all the way to a finished painting stage, so I will leave it here for today at this point. I'm looking for more suggestions about where I can take this. I really would appreciate you giving me, a bit of an idea what to do next, really. Another option is that I could resize the whole thing to a smaller area on the canvas and have, therefore, space at the top for more sort of details coming up here. So whatever you think really in terms of colours, effects, textures, things in the background, things growing out of this, things that you want exaggerated. I've absolutely no idea where to take this as of yet, and I'm looking for your input as to really what I do next with this piece of work. If you like my work and you want to be able to support me in some way, other than just obviously the very supportive and encouraging comments that I'm already receiving for my work, but there is another way. I would like long term to be able to do my artwork full time and offer more of this kind of content to my supporters and my viewers. So Patreon is a fantastic way for supporters of a particular artist or creator to, actually show that support in a more tangible sort of sense. There are rewards that I'm offering on here, access to all sorts of downloadable images and video content that other people just on YouTube won't be able to access ever. Also at the higher end of my rewards, then there's going to be sort of personalised drawings that I send out, one-to-one tuitions for people, other artists who are interested in developing their own portfolio. So please check out my Patreon page. I'll make that available in the description, and also at the end of my video there'll be a link as well. Please take a look at my first video if you haven't done already. Like, add a comment, share it. It all makes a massive difference to me, and very much appreciate your help. Thanks very much. See you again.